Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we have another Loki review, episode 3. And this episode was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't
I
lie.
liked it.
It
Not bad
was
at all.
it was very good. I definitely enjoyed the entire episode as a whole, and we got to see Loki have a
Yeah, it was a
conversation
good.
with himself.
Mhm. We did, he did. Throughout the whole episode, he was indeed talking to himself. But before we hop into it, just to go ahead and get some housekeeping done, again, it's me, your boy Zach here,
Thomas
and
here.
I'm here with Thomas. All
I
right.
jumped the gun a
And
little
of
bit.
course,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I kind of did too. I was like, oh yeah. If you definitely want to hit us up, or if you like what you hear today in your earlobes, definitely hit us up at the Night Shift Bandits on pretty much all social media at this point. Um, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Definitely got to GoFundMe and definitely got a Patreon. So definitely go ahead and donate to us if you feel so inclined, or just simply like this video and subscribe.
True. We also
Definitely.
have our link trees in the descriptions of every single thing that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So please
Yeah.
check us out wherever you can.
Exactly. So wherever you can support, go ahead and do so. We definitely gracefully ask you to support us.
Please, thank you.
But indeed. But of course, back to Loki episode 3. So initial impressions.
Okay, so my initial impression was, oh, cool. We're seeing them, actually try to get along and everything. But I was also thinking like, oh, cool. We get to see Loki like interact with himself, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was actually named Sylvie now. I'm actually kind of thrown off and thinking that this is another Loki now. I'm thinking it might be Enchantress.
I think it's Enchantress.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that
All
because they haven't really shown Loki as, well, the
Mm-hmm.
female Loki as actually Loki. And she even said herself, don't call me Loki. I'm not that person. I'm a completely different person. I go by Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like not ways, but instances where she's throwing you off the scent subtly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the whole thing about hanging out in apocalypses, still
Mm-hmm.
genius. You can do whatever you want during an apocalypse. No one cares because no one's going to make it off of there.
Exactly, practically, and they proved that in the last episode that
Yep.
like you can do whatever the hell you want, and still you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. And they've actually been proving it
Which
more
makes
and
all the
more.
sense in the world, to be honest with you, because no one survives. No one will live to tell the tale.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's very true. But they've been saying more and more that showing more and more in this episode that it really doesn't matter what they're doing because they've definitely messed up the timeline by this point simply by being there.
Mm-hmm.
But since everyone's going to die there, it doesn't matter. So no one's really checking that point in time. There's not going to be something that branches off unless something survives that planet, which
Right.
is their goal.
Exactly. And we've seen throughout this whole episode, like, it was a nice back and forth between the two. One thing I've noticed while watching the episode is that Tom Hiddleston and the actress who plays Sylvie, I could pull her up real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember her name
Okay.
either.
So yeah, Lady Loki, or Sophia Di Martino is her name.
Okay. I don't remember what she's
So the
from.
chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Sophia is actually very well done. Like they bounced off each other very, very well.
I agree. Yeah, I think their interactions are really like telling that
Oh yeah. Oh,
this is somebody who Loki knows,
mhm.
but not necessarily Loki. They had different childhoods.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
different experiences throughout their
Mhm.
lives.
Hmm. Exactly. And They even state that, like when they compare histories, they're like, "Oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
happened. No, this happened too." And so it's like, oh okay, like somehow, some way, their timeline split to where not only did the genders change, but they have drastically different family dynamics. Like again, she knew she was adopted, but
yeah,
Loki didn't know until obviously the first Thor movie.
exactly. Which there was a reference to that first Thor movie in this episode.
Yeah, give me another.
Exactly. So I'm also kind of curious on if they, like I said before, if they actually are going to go that route where this is Enchantress. In the
hmm
comic books, Loki and Enchantress definitely had I don't want to say a relationship, but it was more like a working thing. I don't know if it was a full relationship or not. I didn't go that deep into the Loki and Thor comics or the, I guess,
hmm
deity side of comics. I hope that they do explore that character if it is actually Enchantress.
But I mean, yeah, they're definitely hinting at her being Enchantress because they use the word enchantment multiple times when referencing her powers.
I honestly got tired of it.
So yeah, it's like, okay, guys, we get it. She enchants people.
Hmm. And that's
We
what
get it,
is putting
guys.
me on this whole line of thought that, hey, this is Enchantress. They said enchant way too many times. It's just in my head now.
They did. They only need to say it once for me when I'm like, okay, that's Enchantress.
Well, it's same for me too, but they keep driving it in with how much they said enchantment,
Yeah.
enchant. So yeah,
You enchant them.
yeah. And
And
then
the thing,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing is too is like when they actually explain how her powers work, that
Hmm.
could have just been the second reference to it. Like, okay, that does sound like an enchantment. It sounds like you're actually controlling their mind.
I was literally gonna just say that. I do
hmm
remember a segment where she was. I don't know if this was like an actual comic or not, but I remember that there was a couple panels in some comic that I saw where she explained her abilities to take over people's minds, and it was similar to that. If I remembered this right, which memories are a fickle thing,
hmm
uh, then yeah, we're seeing Enchantress right now and not Loki. And I think Enchantress did learn some tricks from Loki, so
hmm
that could be another thing too.
Yeah, I mean, it could be definitely. So, but yeah, again, not much really to say. At least for me, not much to say on this episode besides the fact that it was pretty good in the ending. I really did like that ending.
Yeah,
I
it,
love that ending.
it
Like,
was great that they were working together finally, and
yeah,
then it all kind of just blew up in their face.
literally, it blew up in their face.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, Sylvie, definitely really good. Definitely like the fact that they're working together.
hmm,
Because at this point, they're both anti-heroes. But thing is, she still split the timelines
yeah.
drastically too.
I mean, she bombed them and separated them, so
Exactly.
she's kind of a
So
time terrorist right now.
yeah, but at the same time too, the TVA may not be what they seem either, because this is where we get a confirmation that everyone who works for them is some kind of variant. Which I
True.
mean, to be real, we could probably have figured that out anyway.
I immediately thought of
Um,
that. The only one that I thought was actually created by the timekeepers was Mobius, because his name is Mobius, Mobius, Mobius.
that's true too, but at the same time too, he did bring up something about jet skis.
He did, which
So that's
does put him in like the early to mid 90s era for
mhm.
a person. So that would be interesting finding out like he was from the 90s, and let's just say he was cut off from the timeline where the Skrulls came in, or the Kree came that early and it actually did invade.
Yeah.
So anything could have happened.
Exactly. Like anything could have happened. And they imply too that variants may forget what their timeline is. Like with Sylvie tried to remember. I forgot what she tried to remember, but she either said something along the lines of that was long ago, or it's a bit fuzzy.
Yeah. And she also did bring up the point that she had to reach back into a memory that was hundreds of years ago from this woman who works for the TVA that was originally on Earth, and she loved margaritas. The time, the time period that she was set in, kind of seemed like anywhere between 98 and let's say 2015.
Yeah. Like, it seemed more modern.
Yeah.
So, like, you can tell, like, she was from a time where, more of a modern time. And it's kind of cool how they played that off, too. It's like, oh, yeah, we're best friends. Not really. I'm in your brain. I'm pulling off the best Jedi mind trick you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, that was actually very insane. And a very good nod to us that, I know they said different Lokis have different abilities, but I have never seen Loki try to do something telepathic at all. I know he has done things with illusions, but those are illusions, not something where he's literally messing with your mind. And
I mean, that could be something because they keep going back and forth on, at least they used to, on whether or not it was magic or whether or not they're gods or not. Like, in the beginning, I know they were really afraid to, like, commit to those things.
They were.
But now it seems like they're like, okay, he's a god. Like, they don't even deny it no more. And, of course, this is actually magic. So, it's a possibility that, like, Sylvie's power set, or even just any kind of mind power, telekinesis, whatever the case may be a part of Loki's power set now. Because I was saying beforehand, because beforehand they were afraid to say, oh, he's a god, or, oh, they're actually using magic, like actual magic. Because in the beginning, they were just so hesitant about that. But now they're like, fuck it, we're in here now. We have Doctor Strange, we got Wanda, let's just say it's magic and that they're actual gods.
I mean, they've also even said that Asgardians know, quote unquote, magic, which is just science that humans don't understand.
Right.
So
that again, that's the fact that they don't seem to be leaning into that anymore.
Yeah, they're not really leaning into that anymore. It really seems like they're trying to differentiate the two energies or the two paths for accomplishing the same goal.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, they still could be trying to lean into that. That would definitely make them, like the Asgardians, different from actual magic users, like Wanda and Doctor Strange, and Lord knows who else. But I don't know. We'll see about that. That's just something I've noticed while watching this series.
I remember what I was going to talk about. So, Enchantress has definitely messed with other people's minds in the past, and I'm specifically thinking of Hulk versus when Hulk did the Asgard part. The Enchantress was the one that was controlling Hulk's mind during that whole part, but Loki was the one that told her, hey, we're going to do this. It's going to be fun. Don't you want a part of it? And she was like, sure. So this is another thing that's pointing me in the direction of Enchantress. Even though it's not, 616 main line, it is still evidence of her doing something that Loki couldn't do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They're really making this variant very different. And they imply that, like, okay, there are other multiple Loki variants and everything, but something tells me she's like way different than the others.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, drastically. Yeah.
So in my head, she's the Enchantress right now. She's not a different Loki. She's not a variant Loki. It's just someone who knew a lot of Loki's tricks. Yeah.
Exactly. And he has some tricks of her own.
Yeah. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I did want to bring up that song that he was singing. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it did sound like Old Norse.
What, the one he was singing when he was drunk?
Yeah.
Hmm. I couldn't really hear the melody to it. At least it didn't sound familiar to me.
No, I'm talking about not the melody, just the lyrics. It sounded like he was speaking in Old Norse.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that whole fact or not, but I just want to put it out there. It sounds like that. It could be that, and if it is, I'm glad I pointed it out.
Shit, you pointed that out, so definitely congrats on that.
Yeah.
And I'm just a question that I've missed. But and again, another thing I've noticed is that while this show has mystery, it's not as deep as WandaVision.
Not at all.
For right now. Again, it's a great series. I'm loving it. Yeah, like it's a great series.
But for right now, it's just like it doesn't have the mystery that WandaVision
They
had.
did this, that, and the other. They're explaining some lore. It's just pretty straightforward. Like, okay, it'll tell you, like, okay, we got some mysteries going on. Okay, we have some characters we're keeping a mystery for right now, but we're going to reintroduce you to them.
Mm-hmm.
And look, this is what it is. Is this the story? These are the questions we're going to ask. These are the questions that we're going to do. And that'll be it.
Yeah. I mean, that is very straightforward, and I honestly cannot say any different right now. I do think that they are dropping a lot of hints for future stories and other movies and everything in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, it's not nearly as big as WandaVision was.
Yeah, like they're dropping all the hints in the world. And even at the end of WandaVision, we still had like some questions too. So I don't know if this is going to end in like a nice little bum. All in all, overall impressions. This and good episode. Can't wait for the next one. Definitely want to see if Lady Loki is the real villain, or I'm sorry, Sylvia is the real villain. Because she revealed some stuff this episode that's like, okay, maybe the TVA isn't on the side of the angels, but at the same time too, if they are, they may be doing some mysterious, shisty stuff.
No, I completely agree. I do think that this has been an amazing episode. I think that it is giving us more to look forward to, because now we spent an entire episode with just Loki and Sylvie. We haven't seen anyone else from the cast this episode. I think there's going to be something big that happens within the next 2 episodes, and definitely during the last episode.
Yeah, definitely. And they'll definitely find out. We'll definitely see what's up.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
shit. We're gonna see what's up.
Yeah, and that's all I got to say about this. So I'm hoping that Sylvie actually is the Enchantress and not just a variant Loki.
Exactly, same here. I mean, she could still be a variant Loki. It's just that she probably just decides to get her own identity, which again is understandable.
Very much understandable. Once you find out that you're not the only Loki out there, or the only one of you, of course you're going to want to have a different variance. Look at all the Citadel of Ricks, the Council of Reeds, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I also don't.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I also don't understand why Doctor Doom's whole thing isn't called the Legion of Doom. But then again, upon saying that out loud, I hear it. I hear why they can't do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure there's some copyright that not even Doctor Doom can stop.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that there would be something like that out there too, which is bringing up more things about the multiverse, because now we could have the Tinkerer in here at some point. It would just be great for us to like do all those sort of things live action. which, you know,
Mm-hmm.
is going great right now. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, same here. So, just to go ahead and close out here, if you definitely like what you heard today, again, hit us up at the Night Shift Bandits, or at this point, anywhere social media exists. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Again, as Thomas mentioned, we've got a Linktree in the description. So, anywhere you can find us is definitely in that Linktree in the description. If you feel obliged to donate, definitely hit up our GoFundMe and our Patreon. Again, links in the description and in the link tree. So, also, if you like relationship shit, check out my other podcast, Perspective Discussions. Again, anywhere you get your podcast from, and of course, YouTube for that one is coming soon as well. But again, social media is available for that podcast. Again, Perspectives Discussions.
Yep, and I'm on there too sometimes, so you'll see me or hear me, I guess.
Exactly. At this point, all the bandits make their cameo and crossover in VHCs on that podcast.
We definitely have. So just come and check us out, both podcasts. We're trying to make content for you guys.
Okay, cool. Definitely support us, and hey, thanks for listening. And you all have a great night, morning, afternoon,
whenever you're listening to this. Thank you, and enjoy.
Enjoy. Later, guys.
Later.